Hey Sagittarius, this is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. I hope everything is going really good for you. This is your reading for February 2020. We're moving right on into 2020. We are now in the second month. Of course, we had last month, this was our time to kind of finish our cleaning house and to start to set down some new rules and plant some new seeds for the next phase of ascension that we're going through. This ascension process is going pretty quickly to me. It may not seem like it to you, and if you had really high expectations for January coming in and it kind of didn't work the way you thought it was going to work, don't get mad, don't get sad, just get glad, because guess what? You planted seeds, and those seeds are growing, they are germinating. So even if you didn't see the manifestation that you thought, just keep looking, because the months are, just keep living, basically, because as the months grow, you're going to get a chance to see up close and personal what that's going to look like, and how that's going to shape up for you. Okay. So let's see. I also want to tell you while I'm shuffling that I have a class, online class called Tarot for Self-Discovery. So if you're interested in learning how to read cards for yourself, or you're interested in knowing how the tarot can help you understand yourself better at the same time, it's a really great class to take. And I always tell my tarot students that once you learn how to read the card, once you learn the symbolism and you learn how to read the card itself, and then you learn how to apply that to your own life, you get a personal connection with the cards, then you can read anybody, basically. So if you're interested in that, the information on how you can sign up for that class is in the description box there. Also, we got the new moon. No, let's see, what do we have? We have a moon change coming up. So be on the lookout for the new and the full moon view. I will put those on this site, but if you want to know the new moon and the full moon view for your zodiac, or for your element rather, then you'll need to reach out to me on the Patreon account, because that's where I'm loading that content. Okay. All right, so I got a few cards for you, enough to get us started here, Sagittarians. All right, so the first card up was the Empress in reverse. The Empress is about abundance. I'll let you look at it upright. It's about abundance, and what I love about this card from Manzel B is that she's in a prayer mode, and her hands are near her heart, and she's not, you don't see her eyes, so she's not looking at this from a physical standpoint. She really is looking at her abundance from a spiritual standpoint, and that's really where the abundance lives. It's not it's not so much about material, even though the manifestation of it is material. Where it comes from is understanding the wealth and the abundance that lives inside of you and in your spirit. And then it's also realizing that the abundance that was given to you is connected to a much broader spectrum of wealth that all you have to do is just tap in. It's there for everybody. I think the illusion is that, you have the haves and the have-nots. Really, everyone has. It's what you have that's different. And that's it. So you have to think of it like that, Sagittarius. I've got the moon here, this suspended moon as the head, which to me says to connect to your lunar cycles. The moon, for some readers, is about things that are hidden. So if that applies to you, if you are keeping yourself hidden, or if there's aspects of yourself, valuable aspects of yourself that you are keeping hidden from the rest of the world, then that may be affecting your ability to tap into your abundance. But for me as a reader, the moon is always about tapping into your lunar or your feminine side, or your subconscious, or your what's the other word I want to find? It's your feminine. It's really your psychic side. It's really your intuitive side. So again, what I was saying before about this, about the Empress, is like it's not physical. This is more a a spiritual connection to your wealth that you're really looking for. Okay. I've got the Six of Wands in reverse. The Six of Wands for me is about going through being able to see an open doorway, and the open doorway is that doorway of manifestation, right? So you have done your piece. You have made, you've dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's as far as the work that you have to put in to make things manifest for you. And then spirit, if spirit is in agreement with that, then things can happen for you. But by that being in reverse, it just tells me that this right here is even more important to you. You need to really, you really need to see this for what it is. You know, again, going back to the spiritual nature of abundance, as opposed to it just being about physical and just being about material and that kind of thing. The material is just a representation of what you house within yourself as a spiritual being. That's what it is. And so you have to see that in order for you to be able to manifest the things that you need to manifest right now. We've got the Temperance card for you too. The Temperance is blending of opposites. That's about blending opposites, and I've been talking quite a bit in some of the other readers. If you're a cross watcher, I've been talking about that we're going more into the gray area, and things are less and less going to be about black and white. It doesn't mean that the black and white don't exist. They do. They will always exist. But we as a collective are having to move off of those extremes. We've got to move off the poles a little bit and come a little bit more towards center. And as you come towards center, that's what this Temperance is all about. It's coming to center. And so that's what's being required of you at this time. I've got the King of Cups in reverse, and by that we're talking about benevolence. We're talking about being an active giver. We're also talking about operating from the heart and understanding the power that exists in that. So there's a power from operating from the heart. There is an authority that you walk in when you are in touch with your heart space. And a lot of times when people talk about being compassionate and being loving and, you know, and operating from a more emotional place, it's seen as a negative. Like people say, well, you can't be too nice to people because if you're too nice, they take your niceness for weakness. I hear that all the time. That's on somebody else. That really doesn't have anything to do with you, and it actually doesn't affect you either if you think about it. So if you're kind and benevolent and good to somebody and then they turn around and pretend like, you know, they can walk over you, you don't have to let people walk over you to be benevolent. You don't. And that's really going to affect them more than it's going to affect you in the end. So don't worry about that part, right? Just go to the heart space, because the heart space is strong. The heart space is powerful. The heart space is, you know, what really is going to advance you in this journey called life. That's where the advancement really comes from. It comes from you being able to find your humanity, and you find your humanity by forgiving. You find your humanity by letting go of the ego. You find your humanity by accepting yourself as you are with all your flaws, because that's a part of human nature and it's a part of you being a human being. You know, it's just as simple as that. So with this King being in reverse, to me, that's Sagittarius, you need to get okay with your goodness. You need to get okay with your heart space. You need to get okay with that part of yourself, and don't see it as a weakness, because it's not a weakness at all. It's a strength. That's why it's in the King. That's why you got the King. The King is an authority. He sits in a position of power. So just because it's just because you are emotionally connected, and just because you can connect to people on the strength of your emotions and their emotions, just because you can cry with somebody or cry for yourself, or you have some feeling with you, doesn't make you a weak person. It's actually going to tap you in here. That's really what it's going to do. Look at her. She got her hand at her heart space. So it's about growing your heart. It's about growing your heart. Look at there. There goes the hangman here. The hangman is always about letting go, releasing, accepting. Accept who it is that you are. Accept this part of you, Sagittarius. And that's when you're going to find yourself in the pocket. Look at him. He's in the pocket. And he's strong. And he look at that blue afro. You know he's connected. Sitting on top of the mountain. Got the golden chalice. Don't let anybody tell you that love isn't worth a thing. What's love got to do with it or whatever. We get that way sometimes. We get cynical. That's cynicism. That's what happens. Well, what's love got to do? Love ain't doing nothing for me. Look at what this happened. Look at how that happened. I love this and I love that, and this happened and that happened. They ain't nobody care about me. Okay. Just hold on. Because you got to know that seed planted in love is going to grow into something powerful with the love attached to it. Because, people can plant seeds and they can grow and it has no love in it, and they can tell you it's not a pretty sight when that thing grows up and it's a great big old empty tree. Okay? That's what I'm saying here. So Page of Wands is just look at him. See, he's holding his heart. He got his hand over his heart. Yeah, just connect to your heart, Sagittarius. You got to connect to your heart. And you got to know that your heart, and that you being led by your heart and making decisions from the heart space, it's not bad decisions. And it isn't going to hurt you, right? Not really. It's really just going to make you that much stronger. Okay? All right, so don't forget to check out the information in the description box. If you want to take that class, go ahead and make that happen, because it'll be good for you. Even if you never read another tarot card, it'll still be good for you, because it'll allow you to kind of connect to yourself. And right now we're all needing a little more of that, okay? As always, I hope you have a great February, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.